Troy Shaw with Community Strong Magazine, and here I am today with Jason Fields. He is a state representative here in Milwaukee. Jason, what assembly district do you represent, please?
It is the 11th Assembly District, which now includes portions of Milwaukee, Glendale, and portions of Brown Deer.
Okay. Now, we obviously have to talk about the fact, Jason, that you did not win re-election. Tell us a little bit about how how that process went and what you're going to be doing in the future.
It was, of course, I think, a little bit disappointing. But for 8 years, going out as the top Democrat with legislation passed in the Senate and the Assembly, more bills passed and signed into law than any other Democrat. I can't complain about it. If you look at my track record, I think it speaks for itself. So when you look at my friends, the people who enjoyed working with me, while it was disappointing, my number came up, and it's time to move on to other things. And right now, when we're looking at doing some consulting, working with individuals, of course, you know how strong I am on education. We'll continue to do that, as well as business development, minority businesses, making sure that there's access to capital. So the same things that I've been doing in office, I'll continue to do, just from a different angle.
Well, one of the things that I did want to kind of talk to you about, of course, the Assembly is basically a body of Democrats and Republicans and what have you. What is your sense of how the Assembly is going to handle business over the course of the next, I don't know, maybe a few months or years or so?
I think when you look at the new leaderships or the new individuals who were elected, there's a learning curve there. And so because it is controlled, the majority by Republicans, the question for the Assembly Democrats is, what will they be able to get done? Will they be able to accomplish anything? Will they be able to establish a relationship with Republicans who have the majority? And how can you bring home things from Milwaukee? How can you continue to push the agenda of education reform? How can you push the agenda of access to minority-owned businesses, enterprises? And so I think the Assembly will still remain Republican-controlled just because of the numbers, but Democrats may pick up, I would say, maybe 3 or 4 additional seats.
Well, one of the criticisms, Jason, over a lot of years has always been that you were a Republican in Democratic clothing because you would tend to sometimes agree with the ideal set of the Republicans. Can you please expand upon that, please?
Yeah, I think it's a fallacy, and that message is perpetrated by individuals who, whether they don't like you or because you don't agree with their agenda 100% of the time. The reality is that people sent me there to be effective. No party is right 100% of the time. So it is mathematically impossible to side with a group of individuals 100% of the time. And so I think what the community said to me was, listen, we want a person who can get things done. We want a person who can put away the political rhetoric and work with individuals, whether they be Republicans or Democrats, to get things accomplished. And that's what I focused on. Okay. And so when you have individuals who say that fallacy or that myth and you get it too, it's simply because you look at the issue. You look at the issue, and when you look at that issue, then you ask the question, how does it affect the quality of life for the people in Milwaukee? The truth of the matter is, sometimes Republicans were right, sometimes Democrats were right. I went with whoever was right.
And there's a lot of things that we could talk about that, but this is only so long here. I definitely want to talk to you about some more of that stuff, and we're going to have Jason's on again. But let's now talk about some Milwaukee things that are going on. Derek Williams was a young man that was arrested by police back in 2011. He actually died in the back of a squad car while he was detained. Police are saying, or should I say the police chief, actually people are calling for the police chief's ouster because, this is just a series of things that have been happening over the course of the police chief's tenure. What is your position on this?
I understand the passion. I understand why they believe the chief should step down. Whether that will come to fruition or not, I don't believe it will happen. Again, I think the chief has made his stance public where he stands, but I do understand the passion and why people are asking that question, why people are putting that out there, because when you look at the leader of organization and when you look at the relationship that the community has with the Milwaukee Police Department, it's tarnished. It is we're being driven further and further apart because of incidents such as this. And the question for people like you or me is, you never get it out of your mind. could that have been me at some point in time? Could that have been, what happens? Where's the safety? Where's the feeling that they're there to protect and serve? And when you have senseless things like this occur, somebody has to answer for it.
Okay. But then the question is going to be whether or not you believe that the police chief should be ousted.
You know, I don't know if I think he should be ousted. I think the question is, what are you going to do to change it? If there are no things put in place to change it, then maybe we do look at a different leadership. Maybe we do look at a person who's going to come in and reestablish that connection with the community. Because if he can't do that, like any business leader, as the president of your organization, as the president of my organization, if we're not doing what we need to do to effectively lead that organization, yeah, we have to go. That's just business.
The last question here then. Okay, now we know that you did not win election. You stated earlier that you're looking at getting into probably some consulting and stuff. But where are we going to see Jason Fields in about 6-7 months?
You know, I started my own firm. I'm doing work now with institutions and organizations, School Choice Wisconsin, the MMAC. And so I think what you'll see is me taking my firm further, Global X LLC, focusing on international business, continue to build a relationship in the financial arena and financial markets. And so I think as the president and CEO of my own company, you'll see me get involved in various items and various issues around the city.
Okay, well, and that was Jason Fields, state representative currently, and a big-time business leader later on. We're going to keep up with Mr. Fields as we watch his career grow. This is Community Strong, your community magazine. I am your editor and publisher, Troy Shaw. We'll be talking to you very soon.